Welcome, dear listener, to another magical journey. Tonight, we travel to the kingdom of Astria, where the mountains touch the heavens and rivers flow like silver through emerald valleys. Close your eyes, let your mind drift, and allow the soft rhythm of my voice to guide you into a world of ancient prophecies and moonlit quests. As you listen, feel the weight of the day gently fade away, and let Princess Celestia's story carry you into a peaceful, restful sleep. Sweet dreams await. In the heart of the kingdom of Astria, where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers wove silver threads through emerald valleys, King Theron ruled with wisdom and courage. His people lived in harmony, their lives touched by the gentle hand of prosperity. Yet despite his many victories and the love of his subjects, King Theron's heart harbored a deep longing, a longing for a child to whom he could pass on his legacy. The king's prayers were answered on a night bathed in the eerie glow of a blood moon. Queen Isolde, radiant and serene, gave birth to a daughter, Princess Celestia. The night was marked by a rare celestial event, a sign from the heavens that the child was destined for greatness. As the baby's first cries echoed through the palace, the kingdom's ancient seer, an old woman whose eyes seemed to hold the light of 1,000 stars, appeared before the royal family. The seer, draped in robes of midnight blue and silver, gazed upon the newborn princess with a mixture of awe and reverence. Her voice, though cracked with age, carried the weight of prophecy as she spoke. This child is born under the light of a blood moon, a sign that her fate is entwined with the celestial realms. She is the one who will uncover the moonlit crown, an artifact of immense power that reveals hidden realms under the moon's gentle light. King Theron and Queen Isolde listened intently, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that their daughter's life would be marked by this prophecy. The seer continued, her voice now a whisper, as if she spoke directly to the stars themselves. The moonlit crown, lost to time, rests in a realm only accessible under the full moon's gaze. It is said that this crown holds the power to reveal the unseen, to guide its wearer through the darkest of nights, and to restore balance to our world. The words hung in the air like the last notes of a fading melody, leaving the king and queen to ponder the weight of their daughter's destiny. From that day forward, Celestia grew up under the watchful eyes of her parents and the people of Astria, each of whom knew that she was no ordinary child. As Celestia blossomed into a young woman, her beauty was rivaled only by her curiosity and thirst for knowledge. She spent countless hours in the royal library, poring over ancient texts and maps, searching for any mention of the moonlit crown. Yet, no matter how deeply she delved into the kingdom's lore, the crown remained a mystery. A tale whispered by the wind, a legend lost in the mists of time. Despite the elusive nature of the crown, Celestia could not shake the feeling that it was her destiny to find it. The night sky, with its twinkling stars and ever-changing moon, seemed to call to her, beckoning her to embark on a journey beyond the borders of her kingdom. The prophecy of the seer echoed in her mind, a constant reminder that her fate was written in the stars. On the eve of her 18th birthday, as the full moon rose high above the kingdom, casting its silver light across the land, Celestia found herself drawn to the royal gardens. There, amidst the fragrant blossoms and ancient oaks, she encountered a cloaked figure standing as still as a statue. The stranger's presence was otherworldly, as if they had stepped out of the pages of one of the ancient tales she had so often read. The figure spoke in a voice that seemed to resonate with the very essence of the night. "Princess Celestia, the time has come for you to fulfill your destiny. The moonlit crown awaits you, hidden in the realms beyond this world. You must embark on a journey, guided by the light of the full moon, to retrieve the crown and restore balance to your kingdom." Before she could respond, the stranger reached into their cloak and produced a silver pendant, intricately crafted with a gemstone that shimmered like the surface of a still lake under moonlight. "This pendant will guide you," the figure whispered, placing it in Celestia's hand. "Trust in its light, and it will lead you to the crown." And with that, the figure vanished into the shadows, leaving Celestia alone in the garden clutching the pendant. The full moon above seemed to shine brighter, as if blessing her for the journey that lay ahead. Celestia knew that her life was about to change forever, that her quest for the moonlit crown had truly begun. Thus, under the silver gaze of the moon, Princess Celestia prepared to embark on a journey that would take her beyond the known world into realms unseen, guided by the light of the pendant and the destiny foretold on the night of her birth. As the days passed after the mysterious encounter in the garden, Princess Celestia could not escape the pull of the prophecy. The pendant, which she now wore close to her heart, seemed to pulse with a life of its own, especially as night fell and the moon ascended in the sky. Its gentle glow was a constant reminder of the journey that awaited her, a journey that both excited and terrified her. On the eve of her departure, the palace was quiet, the usual bustle of court life subdued by the weight of what was to come. King Theron and Queen Isolde, though proud of their daughter's bravery, were filled with an unspoken sorrow. They knew that Celestia's quest would be fraught with danger, and the thought of losing their only child to the whims of fate was a burden that pressed heavily on their hearts. That night, as the full moon reached its zenith, casting a silver light that made the palace gardens glow with an ethereal beauty, Celestia found herself drawn once more to the place where she had met the cloaked stranger. She walked silently, the hem of her gown whispering against the dewy grass, her breath visible in the cool night air. The world seemed to hold its breath, as if anticipating the next chapter of her story. As she neared the ancient oak where the stranger had first appeared, the air grew thick with an otherworldly presence. The shadows seemed to shift and dance, and from the darkness emerged the very figure who had set her on this path. Clad in the same dark cloak, the stranger's face was hidden, yet their eyes glowed with a light that mirrored the pendant around Celestia's neck. "You have returned," the stranger said, their voice a soothing melody that seemed to blend with the night breeze. "Are you ready to fulfill your destiny, princess?" Celestia, though her heart pounded with both fear and excitement, stood tall and nodded. "I am ready," she replied, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. "Tell me what I must do." The stranger's lips curved into a faint smile, and they nodded approvingly. "Your journey will take you far from the safety of these walls, beyond the borders of Astria, and into realms that exist only in the light of the moon. The path will not be easy, and many trials await you. But remember, the light of the moon and the power of the pendant will guide you when all else fails." With a wave of their hand, the stranger conjured a map from thin air. It was no ordinary map. Its parchment glowed faintly, and the ink seemed to shift and swirl as if alive. The stranger handed it to Celestia, and as she took it, she saw that it depicted lands she had never heard of, places that existed only in the most ancient of tales. "This map will lead you to the Silver Lake," the stranger explained, their voice low and serious. "There, you will find a spirit named Selena, the guardian of the lake. She will grant you passage into the realm of stars, where the moonlit crown is hidden. But beware, princess. Only those with pure intentions can enter the realm of stars. Should your heart falter, the path will close to you forever." Celestia's fingers tightened around the map as she absorbed the stranger's words. She knew that her courage would be tested, that the journey ahead would demand all the strength and wisdom she could muster. Yet, despite the fear that gnawed at the edges of her resolve, she felt a deep sense of purpose, as if this quest was what she had been born for. As the stranger stepped back into the shadows, they paused and looked at Celestia one last time. "Remember, princess," they said softly, "the crown is not just a symbol of power. It is a beacon of hope, a light in the darkness. It will reveal not only hidden realms, but also the truth within your own heart. Trust in yourself, and you will find the way." And with those parting words, the stranger melted into the night, leaving Celestia standing alone under the ancient oak. The pendant around her neck glowed brighter, and the map in her hands seemed to pulse with energy, as if urging her to take the first step. Determined and resolute, Celestia tucked the map into her satchel and turned toward the horizon where the path to the Silver Lake awaited. Her heart, though heavy with the knowledge of what lay ahead, was also filled with a strange lightness. a sense of adventure that pushed her forward. And so, under the watchful gaze of the full moon, Princess Celestia set out on her journey, leaving behind the safety of the palace and stepping into the unknown, guided by the light of the pendant and the ancient prophecy that had shaped her fate. Princess Celestia's departure from the kingdom was a quiet affair. The dawn was just beginning to break, painting the sky in soft hues of lavender and rose as she slipped through the palace gates. Clad in a simple travelling cloak, with the silver pendant hidden beneath its folds, Celestia felt the weight of her journey settle upon her shoulders. The world beyond Astria was vast and unknown, filled with mysteries and dangers that she had only ever read about in the ancient texts. Yet her heart was steady, her resolve firm as she stepped into the cool morning air. The first leg of her journey took her through the Whispering Woods, a vast forest that bordered the eastern edge of the kingdom. The trees, tall and ancient, seemed to murmur secrets as the wind rustled through their leaves. The path ahead was narrow and winding, but the pendant's gentle glow provided a guiding light, illuminating her way through the shadowy underbrush. As she ventured deeper into the woods, Celestia began to encounter signs that her journey would be anything but ordinary. Strange creatures darted between the trees. Foxes with silver fur that shimmered like moonlight, owls with eyes that gleamed like stars, and deer whose antlers seemed to be made of delicate crystal. These beings, though unfamiliar, did not frighten her. Instead, they watched her with a curious gaze, as if recognizing the importance of her quest. The deeper she traveled, the more the forest seemed to come alive around her. The trees whispered her name, their voices mingling with the sound of her footsteps. At times, the path would vanish completely, only to reappear moments later as the pendant's light grew brighter. It was as if the forest itself was testing her, ensuring that she was worthy of the journey she had undertaken. As the sun reached its zenith, casting dappled light through the canopy above, Celestia came upon a clearing. In its center stood a towering oak, its branches stretching high into the sky. Beneath its boughs, the ground was carpeted with soft moss, and a gentle stream wound its way through the glade, its waters sparkling in the midday sun. The place felt sacred, as if it existed outside the bounds of time. Celestia approached the oak, feeling a strange pull toward its ancient presence. As she drew near, she noticed something curious. A small door, intricately carved with symbols of the moon and stars, nestled within the trunk of the tree. It was a doorway unlike any she had ever seen, and she knew instinctively that it was meant for her. Taking a deep breath, Celestia reached out and touched the door. To her surprise, it swung open easily, revealing a hollow within the oak. Inside, she found a set of items carefully arranged as if awaiting her arrival. There was a flask filled with a shimmering liquid, a dagger with the hilt encrusted with moonstones, and a pair of silver boots that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. A voice, soft and melodic, echoed in her mind as she examined the items. "These gifts are yours, princess," it whispered. "The boots will carry you swiftly through treacherous terrain. The dagger will protect you from unseen dangers, and the flask holds the water of the Silver Lake, which you will need to gain passage into the realm of stars." Celestia's heart swelled with gratitude as she donned the boots, secured the dagger at her waist, and tucked the flask into her satchel. The door to the oak closed behind her as she stepped back into the clearing, and the pendant's light flared brightly as if in approval. With renewed determination, she set off once more, the forest seeming to part before her as she moved forward. By nightfall, Celestia had reached the edge of the whispering woods. The trees thinned, giving way to rolling hills that stretched out toward the horizon. In the distance, she could just make out the glimmer of water reflecting the light of the rising moon. The Silver Lake, her next destination, lay ahead. As she gazed upon the lake, a sense of calm washed over her. The journey had only just begun, and already she had faced the unknown and emerged stronger. The path ahead was still shrouded in mystery, but she knew that with the guidance of the pendant and the gifts she had received, she would be ready for whatever challenges awaited her. With the moonlight guiding her steps, Celestia continued toward the Silver Lake, her heart filled with the quiet resolve of one who knows their destiny lies just beyond the horizon. The journey was far from over, but the first steps had been taken, and the moonlit crown, the key to her kingdom's future, awaited her in the hidden realms beyond. As the moon rose higher in the sky, its silvery light bathed the landscape in a soft, ethereal glow. Princess Celestia stood at the edge of the Silver Lake, gazing across its tranquil surface. The lake was vast, stretching far beyond what the eye could see, and its waters shimmered as if infused with stardust. The air was cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of blooming night jasmine, and the only sound was the gentle lapping of the water against the shore. Celestia felt a sense of awe as she took in the beauty of the scene before her. The Silver Lake was unlike any place she had ever seen, a place where the boundaries between the mortal world and the realms of magic seemed to blur. She knew that this was no ordinary lake. It was a gateway to the realm of stars, where the moonlit crown awaited her. The pendant around her neck pulsed with a gentle warmth, guiding her steps toward the water's edge. As she approached, the surface of the lake began to ripple, as if stirred by an unseen hand. From the center of the lake, a figure emerged, gliding gracefully across the water as though she were part of it. She was a vision of beauty, with flowing silver hair that cascaded down her back like a waterfall, and eyes that shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars. This was Selene, the spirit of the lake, and guardian of the entrance to the realm of stars. Celestia felt a mixture of reverence and trepidation as the spirit approached, her presence both soothing and awe-inspiring. Selena's voice, when she spoke, was like the melody of a distant lullaby, soft yet filled with power. "Welcome, Princess Celestia," Selene said, her voice echoing across the water. "You have come far on your journey, guided by the light of the moon and the prophecy that binds you. The moonlit crown lies within the realm of stars, but the path to it is not easily traveled. You must prove your worth to enter." Celestia bowed her head respectfully. "I am ready, Lady Selena," she replied, her voice steady. "I have come to fulfill my destiny and retrieve the crown that will restore balance to my kingdom. Please, grant me passage to the realm of stars." Selene regarded Celestia with eyes that seemed to see into her very soul. "The path to the realm of stars is hidden from those with impure hearts. Only those who carry the light of truth and the strength of their convictions may pass. But first, you must make an offering to the lake." Celestia nodded, remembering the flask of water she had been given in the Whispering Woods. She retrieved it from her satchel and approached the water's edge. As she uncorked the flask, the water within began to glow with a soft silvery light. Celestia poured the water into the lake, watching as it merged with the shimmering surface, causing the entire lake to glow brighter. Selene smiled, a gesture that seemed to brighten the night itself. "Your offering is accepted, Princess. You have shown humility and respect for the sacred waters of the Silver Lake. Now, step into the boat that awaits you, and it will carry you to the entrance of the realm of stars." Celestia turned and saw that a small boat, crafted from moonbeams and glowing faintly in the moonlight, had appeared at the water's edge. It was delicate yet sturdy, its oars resting quietly within. With a deep breath, she stepped into the boat, feeling it shift beneath her as she settled onto the wooden bench. The boat began to glide smoothly across the water, propelled by a gentle current that seemed to come from within the lake itself. Celestia watched as the shoreline faded into the distance, replaced by the vast expanse of the lake, its waters now glowing brightly under the moon's gaze. As the boat carried her deeper into the lake, the night sky above seemed to change. The stars grew brighter, their light dancing across the water's surface, and the air grew still, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Celestia felt a deep sense of peace, as though she were being cradled in the arms of the night. Finally, the boat came to a stop in the center of the lake, where the water was at its most brilliant. Celestia looked down and saw that the water had become as clear as glass, revealing a pathway of stardust beneath the surface, leading downward into the depths of the lake. "This is the entrance to the realm of stars." Selena's voice echoed in Celestia's mind. "Step into the water, and the path will reveal itself to you. trust in the light of the moon and the guidance of your heart. The journey ahead will be challenging, but you are the one destined to find the moonlit crown. With a deep breath and a heart full of resolve, Celestia stepped out of the boat and into the water. To her surprise, the water was warm, enveloping her like a soft embrace. As she descended, the stardust path beneath her feet glowed brighter, lighting her way into the depths. And so, guided by the light of the moon and the wisdom of the lake's guardian, Celestia began her descent into the realm of stars. The next step in her journey to uncover the moonlit crown and fulfill the prophecy that had shaped her destiny. The descent into the water was unlike anything Princess Celestia had ever experienced. As she followed the glowing path of stardust, the water around her shimmered and sparkled, not with the cold of the lake, but with a warmth that felt like the embrace of a long-lost friend. Each step she took seemed to carry her further from the world she knew and deeper into the mysteries of the celestial realms. The path wound downward, leading her into a tunnel of light. The walls of the tunnel were woven from the very fabric of the night sky, with constellations and galaxies spinning slowly within the darkness. It was as if she were walking through the heavens themselves, and with every step, Celestia felt her connection to the earthly realm fading, replaced by a sense of wonder and awe at the vastness of the universe. Finally, the tunnel opened up into a vast expanse. A bridge made of shimmering stardust, suspended in the midst of a sea of stars. The celestial bridge stretched out before her, its glowing surface arching gracefully across the void. Beyond the bridge, the entrance to the realm of stars awaited, a shimmering portal of light that pulsed gently with a rhythm that matched the beat of her heart. Celestia took a deep breath and stepped onto the bridge. The moment her foot touched the stardust, the bridge lit up, casting a soft glow that illuminated the path ahead. As she walked, she marveled at the beauty around her. Stars drifted past, close enough to touch, their light gentle and comforting. She could see the distant galaxies, their spirals of light swirling slowly in the darkness, and the distant echo of ancient songs hummed in the air, as if the universe itself was singing. But as she continued, the bridge began to test her resolve. Shadows flickered at the edges of her vision, and the once peaceful stars seemed to grow dimmer, their light fading into darkness. Celestia felt a chill creep up her spine as she realized she was no longer alone. The spirits of past kings and queens, long since departed from the mortal world, began to appear before her. Their forms were ghostly and insubstantial, their faces etched with sorrow and wisdom. One by one, they approached her, their voices soft but filled with the weight of centuries. "Princess Celestia," they whispered, "you walk a path that we once tread. The moonlit crown holds great power, but with it comes great responsibility. Are you prepared to bear the burden it brings?" Celestia paused, feeling the weight of their gaze upon her. She had known this journey would not be easy, but the full extent of what lay ahead was only now becoming clear. The crown was not just a symbol of power. It was a symbol of the responsibility she would bear for her people, for the hidden realms, and for the balance between light and dark. "I am prepared," she replied, her voice steady. "I seek the crown not for power, but to protect my kingdom and restore the balance that has been lost. I will do whatever it takes to fulfill my destiny." The spirits nodded, their faces softening with approval. "Remember, Princess," one of them said, "the true strength of a ruler lies not in their power, but in their wisdom and compassion. The path ahead will be fraught with challenges, but you must remain true to yourself and your people. Only then will you be worthy of the moonlit crown." As they spoke, the shadows began to recede, and the light of the stars returned brighter than before. The spirits fade into the night, leaving Celestia alone once more on the celestial bridge. She felt a renewed sense of purpose, her heart lighter despite the burden she now knew she carried. She continued across the bridge, her steps growing more confident with each stride. The portal to the realm of stars loomed closer, its light pulsing in time with her heartbeat. The challenges she had faced thus far had tested her resolve, but they had also strengthened her, preparing her for what lay ahead. At last, she reached the end of the bridge, standing before the shimmering portal. The light within it swirled with colors she had never seen before. Deep indigos, shimmering silvers, and soft golds that seemed to shift and change like the tides. The portal beckoned to her, its light warm and inviting, promising the answers she sought. With a deep breath, Celestia stepped through the portal, leaving the celestial bridge behind. The world around her shifted, the light enveloping her in a cocoon of warmth and brilliance. She felt herself being lifted, carried by the light into the heart of the realm of stars. As the light began to fade, Celestia found herself standing in a place unlike any other, a realm where the sky was a tapestry of constellations, where the ground beneath her feet glowed with the light of 1,000 stars, and where the very air hummed with the energy of the cosmos. The realm of stars had welcomed her, and she knew that the final leg of her journey to the moonlit crown had begun. The realm of stars was a place of breathtaking beauty and wonder, a world where the very fabric of reality seemed woven from the light of the cosmos. Princess Celestia stood in awe as she took in her surroundings. The ground beneath her feet was a mosaic of shimmering constellations, each step sending ripples of light through the stardust. Above her, the sky was an endless expanse of deep indigo, dotted with stars that glimmered like diamonds scattered across the velvet. The air was filled with a soft, melodic hum, as though the stars themselves were singing a celestial lullaby. Celestia felt a profound sense of peace and connection, as if the universe had opened its arms to embrace her. But she knew that her journey was far from over. The moonlit crown still awaited her, hidden somewhere within this otherworldly realm. As she began to explore, Celestia noticed that the stars above seemed to move and shift, forming patterns and images that danced across the sky. Each constellation told a story, tales of heroes and lovers, of battles fought and kingdoms won, of sacrifices made and rewards reaped. She walked slowly, her eyes drawn to the stories woven into the stars, feeling as though she were walking through the pages of an ancient living book. After some time, Celestia came upon a large circular clearing. In the center stood a grand, luminous tree, its branches reaching up toward the sky as if to touch the stars. The tree's leaves glowed with a soft, silvery light, and its roots seemed to sink deep into the very heart of the cosmos. This was no ordinary tree. Its presence radiated power and wisdom, and Celestia knew that it was connected to the crown she sought. As she approached the tree, a figure emerged from the shadows cast by its branches. It was a woman of striking beauty and grace, her long hair flowing like a river of stardust, her eyes shimmering with the light of 1,000 galaxies. She wore a robe woven from the night sky itself, and on her brow rested a delicate circlet of silver and stars. This was the ruler of the realm of stars, the ancient and wise queen who guarded the moonlit crown. "Welcome, Princess Celestia," the queen said, her voice like the soft rustle of leaves in a moonlit forest. "You have journeyed far to reach this place, guided by the light of the moon and the strength of your heart. But before you can claim the moonlit crown, you must prove that you are worthy of its power." Celestia bowed her head respectfully. "I am honored to stand before you, Your Majesty," she replied. "I have come to fulfill the prophecy and restore balance to my kingdom. I seek the moonlit crown not for myself, but for the good of my people and the realms beyond." The queen smiled gently, her eyes full of kindness and understanding. "Your intentions are pure, Princess, but the crown's power is great, and it must not fall into the hands of those who would use it for selfish or destructive purposes. To prove your worth, you must answer a series of riddles, each one a key that will unlock the path to the crown. These riddles will test not only your wisdom, but also your understanding of the responsibilities that come with power." Celestia nodded, her heart steady with determination. She had faced many challenges on her journey, and she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. "I am ready, Your Majesty," she said. "Please, ask your riddles." The queen stepped forward, her presence serene and commanding, and began to recite the first riddle. Her voice echoed through the clearing, intertwining with the hum of the stars. In the dark of night, I shine so bright, a guide to those who lose their sight. Yet though I lead with silver light, I vanish with the morning light. What am I? Celestia closed her eyes, letting the words of the riddle settle in her mind. She thought of the pendant that had guided her through the whispering woods, of the moon that had lit her path. A smile touched her lips as the answer became clear. "You are the moon," she replied, opening her eyes to meet the queen's gaze. "You shine in the night to guide us, but disappear when the sun rises." The queen nodded, her smile growing warmer. "You have answered correctly, princess. The moon is indeed a guide, just as you have been guided on your journey. But the moon's light is borrowed, a reflection of the sun's power, reminding us that all power is shared, and that even the brightest light must fade." She continued with the second riddle, her voice as soft and melodious as the stars. "I am not alive, yet I grow. I have no lungs, yet I need air. I have no mouth, yet I can drown. What am I?" Celestia pondered the riddle, her thoughts swirling like the stardust around her. She considered the elements, the forces of nature, and then she thought of fire, the flames that needed air to burn, yet could be extinguished by water. "You are fire," she answered confidently. "You grow when fed, need air to live, but can be drowned by water." The queen's eyes sparkled with approval. "Indeed, you are wise, princess. Fire is a force of creation and destruction, and like power, it must be controlled with care and respect. You are proving that you understand the balance required to wield the crown." Finally, the queen recited the third riddle, her voice taking on a deeper, more resonant tone. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Celestia thought of the sound she had heard on her journey, the whispers of the trees, the music of the stars, and the voice of the lake. Then it came to her. The answer was an echo, a sound that existed only when something spoke first. "You are an echo," she said softly. "You repeat what is spoken, carried by the wind, but you have no voice of your own." The queen's smile was radiant, filled with pride. "You have answered wisely, Princess Celestia. An echo is a reminder that every action, every word reverberates through the world, leaving an impact long after it is spoken. You understand that the power of the crown will echo through the realms, shaping the future for better or worse, depending on how it is used." With the riddles answered, the queen extended her hand, and the branches of the luminous tree began to part, revealing a hidden chamber at its base. Inside, on a pedestal of pure light, rested the moonlit crown. It was a creation of unparalleled beauty, forged from moonbeams and adorned with stars that glowed with the light of the cosmos. Celestia felt her breath catch in her throat as she approached the crown. It seemed to pulse with energy, alive with the power of the realms and the wisdom of ages past. She knew that this was the moment she had been destined for, the culmination of her journey and the beginning of her true role as a leader. With reverence, she reached out and took the crown in her hands. As she did, a vision flooded her mind. Visions of the hidden realms, of the people who lived there, and of the balance that had been lost. The crown showed her the challenges that lay ahead, but it also filled her with the strength and determination to face them. The Queen's voice brought her back to the present. The moonlit crown is now yours, Princess Celestia. Wear it with wisdom and humility, and it will reveal to you the hidden truths of the world. Use its power to restore balance and bring peace to the realms. With the crown in her hands, Celestia knew that her journey was far from over. But she also knew that she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The moonlit crown would guide her, just as the moon had guided her from the start. As she placed the crown upon her head, the light of the realm of stars seemed to grow even brighter, as if the very stars were celebrating her victory. Celestia stood tall, the weight of the crown a comforting presence, and prepared to return to her kingdom, where her true destiny awaited. The moment Princess Celestia placed the moonlit crown upon her head, a surge of energy coursed through her, as if the very essence of the cosmos had merged with her soul. The crown, crafted from moonbeams and adorned with stardust, glowed softly, casting a gentle silver light that illuminated the entire realm of stars. It was as though the stars themselves had come to life, twinkling in celebration of the crown's new bearer. For a brief moment, Celestia was enveloped in a cocoon of light, her vision filled with swirling constellations and the soft hum of the universe's ancient song. Then, as the light began to fade, she found herself standing once more before the wise queen, who regarded her with a look of deep satisfaction. "The crown has accepted you, princess," the queen said, her voice resonating with approval. "You are now the keeper of the moonlit crown, the bridge between the realms of the seen and unseen. Through the crown's power, you will uncover truths long hidden and restore the balance that has been lost. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. The crown will reveal the hidden realms to you, but it is your wisdom and compassion that will guide your actions." Celestia nodded solemnly, understanding the weight of the responsibility she had taken on. The visions she had seen while holding the crown had shown her not only the hidden realms, but also the challenges that lay ahead. Her kingdom was in peril, and the crown was the key to restoring peace and harmony. Yet she also knew that the crown's power must be used wisely, for it held the potential to both create and destroy. "Thank you, Your Majesty," Celestia replied, her voice filled with gratitude. I will do all that I can to honor the crown's power and use it to bring peace to my kingdom and beyond. I will not forget the lessons I have learned on this journey, nor the responsibility that comes with this gift. The queen smiled gently, her eyes filled with the light of 1,000 stars. I have no doubt that you will, Princess Celestia. The crown chose you because it saw in you the qualities of a true leader: courage, wisdom, and compassion. These are the traits that will guide you as you return to your kingdom and face the challenges ahead. The hidden realms will be revealed to you, and through them, you will find the answers you seek. With those words, the queen extended her hand, and a pathway of stardust appeared before Celestia, leading back to the portal through which she had entered the realm of stars. The path glowed softly, beckoning her to return to the world she had left behind. But now she would return, not as the curious princess who had set out on a journey, but as a ruler chosen by the cosmos to restore balance and peace. As she began to walk down the stardust path, the queen's voice echoed in her mind one last time. Remember, princess, the moonlit crown is a beacon of hope, a light in the darkness. It will guide you through the darkest of nights and reveal the hidden truths of the world. Trust in yourself and you will find the way. With those parting words, the queen and the realm of stars began to fade into the distance, their light growing softer until it was nothing more than a distant glow on the horizon. Celestia stepped through the portal, and in an instant the world around her shifted, returning her to the silver lake. The surface of the lake was calm and still, reflecting the full moon that hung low in the sky. The boat of moonbeams awaited her at the water's edge, its oars gently dipping into the water as if urging her to return to her kingdom. Celestia climbed into the boat, the moonlit crown still resting on her head, its soft glow casting a gentle light on the water. As the boat glided smoothly across the lake, Celestia's thoughts turned to the task ahead. She had seen the hidden realms, had spoken with the spirits of the past, and had been chosen to bear the moonlit crown. But now she had to return to her kingdom, where the true test of her courage and wisdom awaited. The boat carried her back to the shore, where the trees of the whispering woods stood tall and silent, their leaves rustling softly in the night breeze. Celestia stepped onto the shore, her heart filled with both anticipation and resolve. She knew that her journey was far from over, but she also knew that she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With the crown's power guiding her and the wisdom of the stars in her heart, Celestia set out for her kingdom, the path ahead illuminated by the light of the full moon. The hidden realms had been revealed to her, and with them, the knowledge she needed to restore balance to her world. And so, with the moonlit crown upon her head and the light of the moon in her heart, Princess Celestia began the final leg of her journey, ready to fulfill the destiny that had been foretold on the night of her birth. With the moonlit crown now upon her head, Princess Celestia felt a deep sense of purpose as she prepared to leave the realm of stars. However, as the Celestial Queen had warned, the journey ahead was not without its trials. The crown's power, though great, came with tests that would challenge her both physically and spiritually. As Celestia made her way back to the Celestial Bridge, she was greeted by a sudden shift in the atmosphere. The sky darkened, and the once comforting starlight grew dim and foreboding. The bridge, which had been a pathway of radiant light, now seemed to waver and shift, its surface turning into a treacherous maze of shifting stardust and shadow. Celestia took a deep breath, her heart steady, but her mind alert. She knew that the trials were meant to test her resolve and to ensure that she was worthy of the crown's power. The first challenge revealed itself in the form of spectral figures, phantoms from the past who drifted across the bridge, their forms flickering like shadows. These spirits, though ghostly and silent, emitted a palpable aura of sadness and longing. The spirits of the past seemed to reach out to Celestia, their eyes pleading for recognition and redemption. As she moved forward, she realized that these spirits represented the unresolved issues and forgotten sorrows of those who had come before her. The challenge was not to defeat them, but to acknowledge their pain and offer them solace. Celestia approached the nearest spirit, a figure draped in the tattered remnants of a once regal robe. She extended her hand, her voice gentle as she spoke. "I see your sorrow, and I honor your memory. Your pain will not be forgotten, and I promise to carry your story with me as I continue my journey." The spirit's form began to shimmer and fade, a look of peaceful acceptance crossing its ethereal face. Celestia continued along the bridge, offering words of comfort and compassion to each spirit she encountered. With each act of kindness, the bridge seemed to stabilize, the shifting stardust giving way to a more solid path. As she neared the end of the bridge, the final trial emerged, a vast chasm that separated her from the realm beyond. The chasm was filled with swirling mists and shadowy figures that seemed to whisper doubts and fears. It was a test of Celestia's inner strength and self-belief. The whispers grew louder, echoing her own insecurities and fears. "You are not worthy. You cannot save your kingdom. The power of the crown will consume you." The voices were relentless, each one sowing seeds of doubt in her heart. Celestia closed her eyes, drawing upon the strength she had found within herself during her journey. She recalled the faces of those she had helped, the lessons she had learned, and the promise she had made to her kingdom. With a deep breath, she focused on her purpose, allowing her determination and the light of the moonlit crown to guide her. When she opened her eyes, the mists and shadows began to dissipate. The chasm narrowed, and a solid path emerged before her. With each step, she felt the weight of her doubts lifting, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. At last, Celestia reached the far side of the chasm, emerging into the realm where the boundaries between the celestial and earthly worlds were thin. She knew that her journey was far from over, but she also knew that she had proven her worthiness. The trials had tested her resolve, but she had emerged stronger and more determined than ever to fulfill her destiny. As Celestia completed the trials and emerged from the celestial bridge, the realm of stars receded behind her, its radiant beauty replaced by the familiar sight of the silver lake. The water's surface glistened with the soft light of the moon, reflecting the serene calm of the world she had left behind. The journey had transformed her, and she carried the moonlit crown not just as a symbol of power, but as a testament to her growth and resolve. The boat, crafted from moonbeams, which had carried her across the lake before, was waiting at the shore. Celestia stepped aboard, her heart brimming with a newfound strength and clarity. As the boat glided smoothly over the water, she took a moment to reflect on the experiences she had endured. The spectral trials, the celestial guidance, and the revelations that had illuminated her path. Each step had deepened her understanding of her role as a princess and a protector of her kingdom. The journey back to Astria felt different from when she had left. The air seemed charged with anticipation, and the very land beneath her felt alive, as if aware of the changes that had occurred. The moon hung high in the sky, casting a soft glow over the kingdom as Celestia approached the palace gates. The sight of her home brought a wave of relief and joy, and she knew that her return would be met with great emotion. As the boat docked and Celestia stepped onto the familiar ground of her kingdom, she was greeted by a gathering of her people, faces filled with hope and curiosity. Her parents, King Theron and Queen Isolde, stood at the forefront, their expressions a mix of pride and relief. The moonlit crown still resting upon her head seemed to shine even brighter as it was exposed to the light of her homeland. Celestia approached her parents, her heart swelling with love and gratitude. "I have returned," she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. The journey was long and filled with challenges, but I have fulfilled the prophecy. The moonlit crown has guided me, and I am here to share its power and wisdom with you. King Theron embraced his daughter, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "You have made us proud, Celestia. Your courage and compassion have brought hope to our kingdom. We are grateful for your safe return and for the promise of a brighter future." Queen Isolde took Celestia's hand, her touch gentle and warm. "The moonlit crown has chosen wisely. Your journey has transformed you into a beacon of light and strength for our people. We shall celebrate your return and honor the wisdom you have gained. With the Moonlit crown's power now integrated into the heart of Astria, the kingdom began to flourish once more. The hidden realms revealed by the crown brought new opportunities and alliances, fostering peace and prosperity. Celestia's reign was marked by a time of harmony and growth, as she led with the wisdom and compassion she had gained from her celestial journey. And so, the tale of Princess Celestia and the Moonlit Crown became a legend told through generations. A story of courage, self-discovery, and the enduring power of hope.